this video, we'll talk a little bit about Facebook Live and some ways you can better utilize that. We've already kind of talked about how video is prolific. Every day, over 8 billion videos are watched on Facebook alone, not even YouTube. But every day, over 6 billion hours of video are watched on YouTube. And by 2018, it's expected that video will account for 80% of all web traffic. So video is everywhere. How can we best utilize it? Well, I showed you this slide in a previous video lecture, but just as a reminder, video strategy makes Facebook a competitor of YouTube. 8 billion video views daily, as we said, 100 million hours of video watched every day on Facebook. So I want to show you this this video. You've maybe seen, you probably remember the Ice Bucket Challenge, but this talks about the power of the virality of good video on Facebook.
Who came up with this idea, this whole campaign?
There were 3 families that we give credit to.
Anthony has weakness in his upper body. He has no use of his hands anymore.
That's a grand slam home run for Peter Frates.
There are many different devices he has at this time because without them, he wouldn't be able to live.
Your mind is not affected at all, and yet your body is just completely shutting down, and there's nothing you can do about it.
This is to generate awareness about ALS.
I sent it out to 3 of my girlfriends.
This is for you, Anthony.
My network was linked just by one person to her network.
From there, he passed it to Pete Frates, and his network really took off with it.
Accepting the Ice Bucket Challenge in support of Pete Frates.
Each family was commenting, liking, and sharing for the first couple nights straight through.
Week 1, Boston media.
Challenge
Week 2, national media. Week 3, celebrities. Week 4, global.
I've been trying to do stuff for a long time, and nothing did what this did. I feel the Ice Bucket Challenge created some hope.
He doesn't think that it's actually going to help him, but he does think that eventually it will help somebody in the future who's diagnosed. He's okay with that because he has me and Taya. So.
So that's the power of viral video. And not only was that successful from the perspective of the number of people involved and the number of videos posted and the number of hours of videos, but as you saw at the end of the video, it actually created a very strong fundraising campaign for ALS and one of the largest fundraising campaigns ever. So video is very powerful. But some strategic best practices for using Facebook Live or Facebook video. Don't use Facebook Live just because it exists. Focus on customer retention and influencer marketing. Make sure that you have a purpose for it, a clear purpose. Ask yourself why. Why are we doing it? And then pick your topic and stick to it. So do you have a big event or a product launch that you want to do something different for? Or do you have a PR crisis that you're trying to respond to, maybe a customer service issue that is pervasive? Do you want to connect to your customers on a deeper or more personal level? So have your why, know your why. And then when you pick your topic and stick to it, try not to let the topics of conversation stray too far away from you and what your purpose is. Facebook Live is one part of the whole plan, so don't eliminate the other channels just because you're using Facebook Live, but complement them instead. It's all about integrated marketing. Be spontaneous, but be prepared. Don't be too scripted, because if it's too scripted, it'll feel inauthentic. Think of it like throwing a party. You want to have enough food and drinks, but you want your guests to have spontaneous fun as well. And then set the stage. Make sure it's not too noisy. Make sure there's nothing in the background that could compromise privacy for anyone. Just make sure that you've got the right setting for it, that there's not going to be a train or traffic going by or something in the middle of your post that's going to disrupt the message that you're trying to give. Be flexible and experiment. Recognize that anything and everything could happen. You just never know. It's live, after all. Prepare for the worst and hope for the best. So prepare for the what if this happens moments, because anything can happen during a live broadcast. You only have a few seconds to think on your feet and come up with a response. So maybe think about, what would I do if this situation happened or if that situation happened, and have some ideas for how you would respond. And again, if you stick to your topic, or if you bring whatever chaos might happen back to your topic, that is the best thing you can possibly do. Anticipate the questions and the comments that you may get from people as you're doing your Facebook Live posts. They'll be commenting and posting live as well. So anticipate what you might hear from them and have some answers prepared so you don't have to think on your feet as much. And remember, it's not all about you. Don't continue just to talk about yourself or your company or your brand or your product. Talk about the things that are of interest to your target market. Maybe ways that you can help them, some challenges they might face. Maybe ask them to post what challenges they might face to create that engagement, and then respond to their feedback there. Number 9, stay positive. The internet tends to breed negativity. We saw that a lot during political campaigns and things like that. So try hard to stay upbeat. Keep it light and positive. And use the Facebook news feed. It'll generate big viewership in a small window of time. So with YouTube, you have a massive audience exposed to a video, but it's typically over an extended period of time. But with Facebook, you have the potential to generate a ton of viewership effectively in just a day or two. A sort of burn bright but fade out fast characteristic. So it's a completely different way of using video than you might use it on YouTube. Target your audience strategically. Again, it all goes back to knowing your audience. Who is your audience? If you're wanting to only communicate with specific customers about something, then don't go live. Use live if you want to communicate to a much broader mass audience. And timing is everything. What time zone is your audience in? Do they work during the day? Then maybe you don't want to use Facebook Live during the daytime hours. 6 to 9 p.m. might be the best window for that. So, but if your target is stay-at-home moms, maybe you do want to target them during the day. So you have to again know who's your audience and what time are they typically on Facebook. Be consistent. When you use Facebook Live on a regular basis, you want to be consistent about the day and the time that you typically go live. Create that anticipation. A lot of businesses actually use Facebook Live for things like coaching sessions. So you give people access to a private Facebook group, and you say every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m., we will be on Facebook Live for a coaching session in our private Facebook group to answer your questions. And so people know it's like an appointment that you go to. Ask without over asking. So when you go live on Facebook, some people may tune in right away. Some people may tune in for a little while and drop off. And then some people may not find you until you've been broadcasting for a few minutes. So continue to reintroduce yourself and retell people why you're there. So any new viewers who have just tuned in will know what you're talking about, and you can engage them and get them to stick around. Ask them for likes, for shares, for follows, and do that throughout the process as well. Ask, but don't over ask, but ask more than once. Experiment with it now while it's free. Who knows how much longer we'll be able to use this. Now, I want to show you another video that you've probably seen that talks about the power of Facebook Live as well.
You're getting a little hint. Okay, so you want to see what I got? It's so great. I can't wait to show you. Okay, this is part of my birthday joy. Still rejoicing in my birthday. And so here's what I got. I'm going to take it out of the box. And I can't wait to show you. Okay, I'm in a parking lot and people are literally looking at me like crazy. I don't even care. Okay, so here it is. Hold on. It may be a little tight. It may be tight on me. I got to undo it just a little bit. Hold on. Stay patient, people. Stay patient. This is going to be worth it. I promise. Maybe not, but it's worth it to me. And I had to share with my friends on the internet webs. So here's what, I'm having trouble getting it. Okay, patient. All right, we're doing good. Okay, so this is what I got. Once again, this is for me, not for Duncan, not for Cadence. I mean, I'll let them play with it. I'm not a bad mom. I'm not a jerk, but in all honesty, at the end of the day, it doesn't go in their toy box. It goes in my room. So here we go. I gotta take off my glasses for it. Oh, naturally. Okay, here we go. So, yes! Now watch when my mouth actually moves. That's not me making that noise, it's the mask! Here, listen. This is worth every penny! I can't stop! Oh, I gotta stop! Okay. Oh my gosh! I kind of want to drive around like this. Oh. Okay, now I'm gonna let Chewbacca talk here. Oh my gosh, I'm in tears. Wow. That is the best birthday present ever to myself. Wow. Oh my goodness. Y'all have an incredible day. It's the simple joys.
So that video by that mom sitting in a parking lot at a Kohl's store generated more than 140 million views on Facebook. And in 2 days, Kohl's store sold out of that Chewbacca mask. And as you can see here from this image, she ended up on James Corden's show and basically a complete media tour because that video went so viral. So what can we learn from Chewbacca Mom and her use of Facebook Live? Well, first of all, she spoke from the heart. There's hope there's a level of humanity in what can drive trends when it comes from an honest place, and she really drove that trend. She was all about that simple, unbridled joy. The laughter that you saw her experiencing, she said on some of the shows that she was seeing people's comments come in, and their likes and their engagement with her live post, and she was cracking up at the comments that they were making, and they were laughing at her as well. So it was lighthearted, it was from the heart, it was positive, it was simple. And the other thing we learned from her is that you have to relinquish power. There's always a risk that somebody will bastardize your message or take one thing and turn it into another, and you have to be willing to believe that any press is good press. Now, in her case, people took it and went wild with it, and it opened up these huge doors for her to travel around and do all these talk shows. And the other key thing is that it's UGC, it's user-generated content. This is the future of media. This is Web 2.0 and going into Web 3.0. The beauty of the internet is that it allows us to engage with other people, and everybody has the equal democratic opportunity to create that content. And the other thing that we can learn from her is that she tapped into sort of real-time conversations that are important to people, and we can do that and figure out how to amplify them. So, this Star Wars movie was coming out. There was a renewed interest in Star Wars characters, and so that Chewbacca mask was a timely feature. So before you go live on Facebook, here's some things that you might want to do. Number one, and I'm sure Chewbacca Mom did not do this. She probably did not plan ahead. It was probably a lot more spontaneous. But if you're doing it for business reasons, do this. Number one, tell people in advance that you're going to do it, that you're going to be on Facebook Live. Mario Batali, the chef, said, "I'm going #live take 2. Taking requests around 10 a.m. this morning. Get your list ready." So he basically prompted people to tell them, to have their questions prepared and when he was going to go live. Make sure you have a good signal, Wi-Fi or 4G. The worst thing that can happen when you go live on Facebook Live is that you have a bad interconnection and it drops you. Number 3, write a catchy description. This was for anticipating a Facebook Live with the president from the White House. We got some great news on jobs and the economy this morning, and President Obama wants to tell you about it. So pull up a chair in the Roosevelt Room next to his economic team and listen in. I mean, how cool is that it makes you feel like you can actually sit there when the president is in a meeting with his team. So catchy description that attracts attention and makes people want to tune in. Also, ask viewers to follow you for live notifications. So here's Ricky Gervais on Facebook Live, and you can see the follow button down there. So that the next time Ricky goes live on Facebook, you will get notified, and he can continue to engage you over and over again. Number 5, call out the commenters by name and respond to their questions. So here's a guy that's a part of the cast of Hamilton, and he's on Facebook Live. And you can see that Kiana Harrison here says, "What recommendations do you have for high school students looking at college theater programs?" Well, this is a great opportunity for him to call her out and say, "Well, Kiana, thank you for your question. Here's what I would recommend, or here's where I would look." It enables your users, your customers, your prospective customers to feel like they're actually having a real dialogue with you, that you're hearing what they're saying and what they're asking. Number 6, go live for at least 10 minutes in order to get discovered. The maximum time you can spend on Facebook Live is 90 minutes, but go live for at least 10 because it could take people a couple minutes to discover you, that you're there, and you may have to repeat your message a few times. So give them time to find you. Number 7, much like a radio broadcast or a TV broadcast, have a sign-off line at the end of your broadcast. So you saw Chewbacca Mom. She didn't plan this sign-off line, I'm sure. But, she said, go out and have a great day or something like that. So that indicated to us that she was about to stop broadcasting. So have a sign-off line. And use Facebook Live often and be creative with it. It's a fun tool. But again, before you do it, think about these strategic best practices and these things that you might need to prepare before you actually go live.